Live and on demand from the WNY News Now studios in downtown Jamestown. This is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now on this Monday. I'm Justin Gould.
And I'm Matt Hummel. Happening now, Chautauqua County District Attorney Patrick Swanson is pushing for stronger animal abuse laws.
Plus, the Jamestown area YMCA CEO will be retiring. We'll have much more on that coming up, but first, some breaking news.
This is WNY News Now with live breaking news.
And Jamestown police have announced that a Chautauqua County grand jury has indicted 30-year-old Razul Bonds. That in connection with the drive-by shooting on North Main Street, which happened back on January 30th. Bonds is indicted on 3 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of first-degree assault. Now, in that shooting, 1 male was injured after being struck in the face. And according to Jamestown police, Bonds was remanded to Chautauqua County Jail on $150,000 cash, $300,000 property bond. The investigation is continuing and additional charges and arrests are expected. Now, I was told moments ago by Jamestown Police Captain Robert Samuelson the shooting was a targeted shooting, and that the motive, it was an ongoing dispute, Justin. So certainly we will keep our eyes and ears open.
No.
And if anything else is out there, we got you covered.
Absolutely, and I know, Matt, police can't specifically always give every detail in an ongoing
Correct.
investigation, but they were seeking and they did find the vehicle they believe to be involved. Is this vehicle, is it connected to the suspect, or do we not know that 100%?
Well, we don't know that 100% at this point. They originally, as you said, believed it was, but that wasn't indicated for certain in this report.
All right, Matt, thank you. And of course, we will have much more on this breaking story at WNYNewsNow.com. So again, just to recap, this man indicted by a Chautauqua County grand jury this morning in relation to a shooting that happened almost 2 weeks ago.
Almost 2 weeks, yep.
On North Main Street. I remember that was a very bitter, cold day. A lot of area schools were closed. So we will have much more on WNYNewsNow.com. Let's first, though, before we get to the other news of the day, get a check of our weather. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter is live in the First Defense Weather Center. Happy Monday to you, Dakota.
Happy Monday, Justin and Matt, and happy Monday to all of you on our live stream land. And this is the next system you see on First Defense Doppler. It's all this rain and snow that is down to our south. It's going to be moving our way to the north over the next 24 to 48 hours, and it's going to be a mess going into Tuesday. Winter weather advisories are posted for all of Western New York. They start midnight tonight and go until 10 p.m. On Tuesday. The one for Erie, PA starts at midnight, goes until 1 p.m. on Tuesday. And we're going to be talking about sleet, freezing rain, snow, freezing rain again, then back to snow. It's going to be a complicated forecast here, and we'll talk more about it a little bit later on in the full weather segment. Temperatures have been all over the place over the past 7 days. Look at this, 57 degrees last Thursday, and then the Arctic freeze over the weekend. At least it hasn't been too bad. If you're heading out on the roads today, this is kind of a new graphic we came up with to kind of tell you about road conditions here. So again, over the next several hours, looking good. We're giving you the green light if you have any traveling you want to do on any of the major roadways. No major problems, maybe a few snow flurries, but tomorrow is going to be a different story. We'll talk about it with that Weatherhead Property Maintenance 7-day forecast in just a couple of minutes. J-Matt.
Alrighty, Dakota, thank you, sir. Chautauqua County District Attorney Patrick Swanson is again calling out for stronger legislation involving animal abuse cases. Swanson says that the case against Robert Overton is a prime example of why the laws should be amended.
Coming off the heels of the Overton case with the dog killing that we had in Jamestown, I think that's probably long overdue. The state laws that surround the death and killing of a domestic animal probably need to be amended. It's time to change those laws to make them a little more severe than they are. As you know, in our talks in Overton, how that case played, he pled guilty to the charge. The maximum possible sentence on that is a 2-year sentence in county jail. It probably needs to be treated or brought in line with E felonies and D felonies in the state.
Now, Swanson adds that the failed passing of Mitchell's Law also disappoints him. Swanson says that the New York State Association of District Attorneys unanimously approved the creation of a subcommittee to look at the current animal abuse laws and see how they can be amended. Now, we will have more on our website at WNYNewsNow.com in just a bit.
Also happening, a Jamestown man is charged in connection with a fire that left a male seriously burned Friday night at a Week Street house. Jamestown police say that 49-year-old Danny Pachenko, who lived in the house, is charged with second-degree arson, second-degree criminal mischief, and second-degree reckless endangerment. When asked how investigators were able to determine that the fire was an arson, Jamestown Police Captain Robert Samuelson declined to provide specifics, but did say that, quote, the investigation revealed that the fire was intentionally set, and Pachenko was subsequently charged, end quote. He was arraigned and remanded to Chautauqua County Jail. Police said that the investigation by the Jamestown Fire Department is continuing there, and additional charges are expected in this case. The male, meanwhile, is reportedly at ECMC in Buffalo for treatment to serious burns to his body.
A City of Dunkirk man was charged last week in connection with the July 2018 burglary. Dunkirk police say that the burglary happened on July 30th in the city's first ward, and after a lengthy investigation, police say an arrest warrant was issued in August for 25-year-old Brian Ramos. Ramos was arrested on Friday for the warrants. He is charged with felony burglary, felony grand larceny, and possession of stolen property. Now, police say Ramos was held in Chautauqua County Jail. He'll appear in Dunkirk City Court to face the charges.
And longtime Jamestown area YMCA CEO Mark Eckendorf will be retiring. A source told WNY News Now over the weekend that Eckendorf's retirement will be effective June 1st. The source provided us with a letter that Eckendorf sent to the board that was dated for Saturday, February 9th. That can be found right now in its entirety on WNYNewsNow.com. We did reach Eckendorf for comment Saturday morning, but he declined to give us a comment. We'll continue to provide updates on this story at WNYNewsNow.com.
So certainly a big, day of news and weekend of news. I mean, you had earlier, as you said, the Danny Fanko being charged in that arson. You had the indictment in the drive-by shooting. Looking here, right. Mr. Mark Eckendorf.
And, Eckendorf really has done a lot for the community. And I think that's what a lot of people were giving, kind of thoughts to on the Facebook when that story broke on Saturday. That he really has dedicated a lot of time and a lot of service, and I think a lot of people at the Y probably feel like he will be missed. So certainly, it'll be interesting to see kind of the search for the next CEO. I'm not too familiar with how the Y is structured, or whether the board maybe would seek an outside CEO, or whether they would have someone on the board. I know sometimes they, have different candidates from there or from the other administration.
Well, and this is something I'm going to reach out this afternoon to George Pinabianco. He's the chairman of the board. I mean, it is quite possible. During the time, actually, they've got February 11th.
Right. They have a lot of time to begin a search to try to fill these.
If they don't find somebody right away, they would probably promote somebody to an interim CEO until they find something.
Right,
so
even a CFO or somebody.
Correct.
Again, we don't know the 100% specifics of what that looks like, but certainly an interesting story nevertheless. Saying hello to Tina. Hopefully you are doing well. To Connie, who is watching us. Let's see here. It looks like Earl is here. Robert. Hello, Robert from Falconer. Jennifer, Robbie, Donna, David, another longtime viewer. Good afternoon. He says, a little late today. Yes, David. Facebook changed their, our text tell us it's the API, which they explain is the code to get us on the live. Obviously, we're live 24/7 on our app. Download that right now if you haven't already, WNY News Now. So it took them a little while to get the program updated, but now we are good to go.
Good.
For being
good.
Live. So certainly a very exciting day. And we have a lot more local news to tell you about. Jamestown Democrat Committee Chairman is speaking out to the legacy of Mayor Sam Teresi, our Rory Polero's report is coming on.
But first, Governor Andrew Cuomo's approval rating, it's on the move, but in which direction? We'll let you know as News Now continues.
Live and on demand, you're watching WNY News Now.
When I'm streaming and I'm talking to my community, we have that literally split-second interaction. If somebody says hello, I say hello right back immediately, and it kind of creates that connection. Because like my subscribers and my followers, we pretty much go by Re-Ups Army. All the hate and everything that goes around, that's kind of like our mission statement. Is just be positive and enjoy each other's time. It's more or less just trying to use the internet in a positive way. Like we all from around the world get to connect on the same level, which is, we all love video games. Mixer.com/Re-Up. I'm live every single day, 8 p.m.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvanna Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Well, despite an easy re-election, a rash of new bills signed into law and national attention, Governor Andrew Cuomo's favorability and job performance approval ratings have slipped to the lowest recorded level for the governor. That's according to a just-released Siena College poll. Cuomo's favorability rating fell from 51% to 43%. And with it, his job performance approval rating also toppled from 43% to 35%. The poll also showed us that 52% of New Yorkers oppose Congress funding a border wall, and 70% of those polled do not want President Trump to declare a national emergency to build said wall. Now, Cuomo isn't alone in his popularity slip. According to the poll, Senator Chuck Schumer saw his favorability rating slide from 53% to 47%.
Certainly interesting, Justin. Now, in the wake of Jamestown Mayor Sam Teresi announcing that he will not seek re-election this fall, political supporters of the mayor are speaking to his legacy. Our Rory Polero recently sat down with the City Democratic Committee chairman, who reminisced on what the mayor has accomplished.
In what really is the end of a political era in Jamestown, Mayor Sam Teresi, who is not seeking re-election, was fondly remembered of his tenureship by Jim Walton, the Democratic Committee city chairman. Walton said that Teresi was a solid steward of the people's money and had to deal with many issues that were not of his own making, and he had inherited many of them.
Sam has shepherded us through good times and bad times, and these are not necessarily the best of times, but he has been a good steward of the of public money, and some of the things that he's been dealing with budgetarily and staffing wise were not of his making. They were created 20 years ago, and to the credit of those who did that 20 years ago, I don't think they could have had any idea what the implications would have been 20 years down the road or 30 years down the road.
As for what Teresi's best strength was, Walton gave an unusual but accurate reaction.
That Sam's greatest accomplishment is his endurance. I mean, it's 20 years of being there. I try not to focus on what didn't get done. I try and focus on what did get done. And, I think we're, through the help of the city and the foundations, we're looking pretty good downtown. And I think that's, it's been a major accomplishment. I came here in 1966 in broadcasting. And when I came here on a Friday night, you sometimes had to step off into the street because of the crowd that was downtown. There were 4 men's stores, there were 6 or 8 ladies stores, there were 5 shoe stores.
The bookstore, 3 record stores.
Yep, it was all here. So,
yeah. Teresi's tenure is 20 years in the mayor's chair, ties for the longest in city history. Samuel A. Carlson was mayor from 1908 to 1928, and Stephen B. Carlson was mayor from 1976 to 1990. Progressive Sam Stroth was mayor from 1942 to 1952. Teresi also served several years as Director of Development, and Walton praised him for a career of service to the city he loves. The Democrats have yet to announce a nominee for this upcoming election, but it's truly hard-pressed for any candidate to match Teresi's legacy. In the newsroom, I'm Rory Polero for WNY News Now.
Alrighty, Rory, thank you much.
Very interesting story to see the legacy of a man who, whether you agree with him or don't, he's very much shaped the city of Jamestown. So, certainly we'll continue to follow this mayoral election.
Absolutely.
As things may get a bit interesting as we head along. So, well, it is tax season, and it's off to a slower start this year. Experts tell us that early filers are seeing smaller average refunds. The Internal Revenue Service, they're the IRS, they say the average refund so far is down about 8% under the first full year of the overhauled tax code. Now, refunds for early filers average about $1,865. Now, that's compared to $2,035 from the 2017 tax year. Now, the total number of returns received by the IRS also dipped during the first week of the season, which ended on February 1st. It's down to about 2 million returns from about 18 million at this point last season, and some 16 million so far in 2019. This tax season will be watched closely for the real impact of the GOP's LED tax overhaul in 2017. The overhaul ushered in the most sweeping changes to the tax code in 3 decades.
If one of our 5 senses are impacted, does that always mean the other 4 will be heightened? Researchers from the Ohio State University wanted to know how losing one of those senses altered the way we learn using the other ones. Melissa Rainey has more in today's Health Minute.
New research is finding a link between hearing impairment and visual learning in children. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center conducted a study to see how deaf infants process the visual world around them.
Many people assume that deaf infants and children compensate for the lack of hearing by being better at processing visual things, or that their visual attention is enhanced, and actually these findings show the opposite.
Researchers showed 46 infants, half with normal hearing, half who were deaf, images on a screen to measure how fast the babies looked away.
The faster a child can process the visual information, the quicker they'll habituate to it.
What they found was that the deaf infants looked at the image on average for 30 seconds longer than the infants who could hear. However, this doesn't mean they aren't processing the image as fast. In fact, it could mean they're actually taking more of the image in. This is something the authors of the study hope to explore further.
Understanding the source of these differences can really help us to tailor interventions specifically for these kids, and the earlier that happens, the better.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Melissa Rainey.
Alrighty, Melissa, thank you.
That's very interesting to see. I've always wondered whether, say the folks who are blind maybe hear better or something like that, or vice versa. So interesting to see, and I'd like to maybe hear more from that study as well. That'd be kind of cool. Coming up next, the National Comedy Center makes a special announcement. The details after this.
But first, Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. He has a look at the weather coming up.
When I'm streaming and I'm talking to my community.
Turn to Brotherhood Property Maintenance for all your lawn care and landscaping needs, no matter the season. Brotherhood Property Maintenance does it all, from professional plowing during the winter months to expert landscaping all summer long. Count on Brotherhood Property Maintenance for mowing, landscaping, tree work, spring and fall cleanup, plus snow removal. Serving both commercial and residential lots, check out Jamestown's fastest growing landscaping crew on Facebook, or call us right now to book an appointment.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Coming soon to downtown Jamestown, Pearl City Hops Restaurant and Tavern.
I have some real old-timey dishes on there that I'm just giving new life to. Like there's a shepherd's pie on there that's gonna have some bison in it, real thick hearty gravy. Then I'm also doing beer flights. We're pairing it with a set of sliders, a set of tacos, and a set of mini rolls. So everything's gonna have its own pair so you can get a taste of a little bit of everything and all the beers. We don't want to be known as the restaurant in the hotel. We want to be known as Pearl City Hops.
First Defense Weather, the Southern Tier's only live and local weather source. Now, here's Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter.
I think it's true that your senses do get stronger. It's like, you know, whenever you're at the house and you smell food in the kitchen, it calls you from the kitchen, food. Anyway, this is a brand new SkyVision camera that came online. This is on top of the DoubleTree Hotel downtown. This has given us a great view of downtown Jamestown. Of course, the National Comedy Center is right here. Here's the Northwest Arena, and of course, that's the Washington Street Bridge. This is a new camera. It's brand new. It just came online, and of course, thanks to our friends at the DoubleTree Hotel for installing that camera. It's really awesome. So here we go with the 5-day precipitation chances. Obviously, it will be going up as we get another system coming in here. Look at this, a 100% chance of precip tomorrow, 85% chance on Wednesday. Dips off a little bit for Thursday, but then it comes right back up again for Friday as we get more snow showers coming back in here. Here's a live look from our camera, the News Now cam, and you can see it's 30 degrees right now with an east wind to 10, and the wind chill's only down to 21 degrees. So all in all, this is around average for this time of the year. We should be around 33 degrees. So all in all, not bad. We'll go zone by zone for you very quickly just to break down today's forecast for you. Temperatures in the lower 30s across much of the area. A few afternoon snowflakes, but otherwise the day should be mainly dry. Same thing once near the Lake Erie shoreline, lower 30s here. Mainly dry, a couple snow flurries. The big thing that we're keeping an eye on is this winter storm potential that is coming our way. It's all of this moisture you see right here. It's going to be moving its way up towards our region over the next 24 hours, and it's going to be producing a mess. There actually was some snow out in Missouri and over the past, pretty much over the weekend. So as we zoom this right into Western New York and put the live First Defense Doppler on here, you can see we have nothing going on across the area. It's dry for the afternoon, but that will be changing as we go throughout the night. So here's all the information on this. So snow starts late tonight. It'll first start as snow, and then what happens is it'll start to mix with rain as we go throughout the overnight. Temperatures will hover around freezing near the ground level. That will allow some sleet and freezing rain to fall early tomorrow morning. Now, I posted this on Facebook yesterday talking about how there was potential for significant ice accumulations. The new model runs have kind of taken it down, and I'll show you that a little bit here. Then we go to all rain for Tuesday afternoon. Then it switches back over to freezing rain, then to all snow as we go into Wednesday. So it's a very complex storm system that we have that's coming our way. You can see winter weather advisories are posted for the entire region all the way until tomorrow, and there will be some sleet and freezing rain to go through. Let's show that to you here on Future Scan. You can see here dry throughout the day today. Here comes the advance of the precipitation. I think it'll start first as snow, not rain, and then here we go. We'll start to get into this pink area you see right here. This is all sleet, freezing rain early tomorrow morning. So the morning commute tomorrow is going to be slick on untreated roadways. Give yourself extra time. Warmer air filters in, changes to rain. Then watch what happens as colder air comes back. Changes back to snow for Tuesday night going into Wednesday. So overall snow accumulations, not a big deal here. Maybe 4 to 6 inches at most. I think most everybody maybe 2 to 4, 4 to 6 at most. That's not the big issue here. We can handle that. Now this is the forecast ice accumulations, and I kind of think this model might be overdoing some of these. You can see here right around Jamestown over 1/4 of an inch. That's the magic number when we start talking about significant ice accumulations, because that's when it starts to put weight on trees and power lines. But we think there's going to be more sleet mixing in here. Now, of course, if we get all freezing rain, that's an issue because we're going to be dealing with a good several hours of this, but we think we're going to be mixing in more sleet that'll hold down the ice accumulations and you get less of that glaze. So this is something we're going to keep an eye on as we go throughout the night. Wintry mix arrives after midnight tonight. Messy morning commute, temperatures into the lower 20s for most areas. Future coming up right now, powered by Brotherhood Property Maintenance. 37 tomorrow, 30 Wednesday. There's that snow chance. Turns milder again toward the end of the week before temperatures fall back down to the 20s late next weekend. Norm has sports. Don't go away.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first. WNY Sports Now is powered by Phone Zone of Jamestown. With the largest inventory around, we buy and sell our own merchandise at a price that can't be beat. Have a broken screen? We'll fix it. Learn more at phonezoneshop.com.
Happy Manic Monday, sports fans, and welcome back to WNY News Now. I'm Norm Rodriguez with a look at sports. The Jamestown Rebels posted wins in both of their home games versus the New Jersey Titans over the weekend. On Friday, the Rebels pulled off a 2-1 victory, with Nick Stuckless and Alex Fry each scoring a goal. On Saturday, despite a Titans rally from a 3-0 deficit, the Rebels were able to secure a 4-3 overtime victory. Jamestown remains in second place in the East with 58 points, extending their point lead to 13 over the Titans. The Rebels will be back in action on Wednesday for the Kids' Day game at 11 a.m. against the first-place Johnstown Tomahawks. In their 2-game home stretch over the weekend, the Jamestown Jackals finished with 1 win in their 2 games played. Jamestown won their game against the New York Court Kings on Saturday, 121-99. D'Angelo Stort scored a team-high 28 for Jamestown on Saturday, nailing 6 3-pointers and adding 5 rebounds and 5 assists. James Helton added a 23-point, 12-rebound double-double in the win. On Sunday versus the Mesquite Desert Dogs, despite a 45-38 halftime lead, the Jackals came up short, losing 102-95. Michael Davenport led the Jackals with 31 points on Sunday, adding 6 boards and 4 dimes. The now 3-8 Jackals will be back in action on the road Wednesday against the Tampa Bay Titans. In NBA action, tonight at 7:30, the 29-28 Brooklyn Nets will be traveling north of the border to face the 41-16 Toronto Raptors. Brooklyn is 6th in the Eastern Conference, 1 game ahead of the Charlotte Hornets. Toronto is on a 4-game winning streak and are in second place in the same conference, only 1 game behind the Milwaukee Bucks. The game will be televised on the Yes Network and can be viewed on the NBA app. Justin and Matt, back to you.
Alrighty, Norm, thank you much. Officials for the National Comedy Center announced this morning that comedians Sebastian Maniscalco and John Mulaney will be headlining this year's Lucille Ball Comedy Fest. Mulaney will perform on August 9th, while Maniscalco will perform the following evening. Both performances will be at the Northwest Arena, and tickets will go on pre-sale for NCC members starting on February 20th at noon, and public on-sale date for tickets sold will be on the 22nd at noon. Now, much of the lineup for the festival remains unannounced. Officials expect to announce who else will be performing during the festival at a later date. The festival will run from August 7th through the 11th.
So fun. And the National Comedy Center's obviously grand opening last summer was a blast, I think. The 3 of us.
We did the show from the NCC.
Yeah, it was so cool. Such a pleasure for them to allow us to do our show from there. And we had so much fun with it. And I think, just to see them building on that to this year, obviously the Comedy Center is open, but this festival is still going to attract so many people to really highlight comedy. And I can't wait for the weather, really, Dakota, because it will be a lot warmer then, as everyone's really looking forward to.
Somebody said in the comments that they didn't like the weather, and I basically just said that I tried to make it warm and sunny, but I was outvoted.
Well, 37 days to go, Dakota.
That's not bad.
That's right. 30. Well, at least that's on the calendar. 37 more days to go until the first day of March. The first day of spring, not March. But the spring equinox is on March 20th at almost 6 o'clock. So here comes the Brotherhood Property Maintenance 7-day. Tomorrow's just a mixed bag of precipitation. It's really going to be tricky travel early tomorrow morning. So take it easy out there. But hey, we get back into the 40s for the end of the week, and temperatures go back down to the 20s for the weekend.
All right, Dakota, looking forward to it. Not 37 more days till March.
Yeah, I know.
It's less than
20.
20. Yeah, less than 20. There's only 28 days this month.
Or is it 29?
No,
that's next year.
Or is that last year?
Next year.
Okay, next year's leap. Okay.
Yeah. So February is a shorter month. That'll do it for us today. Of course, if you haven't downloaded the WNYNewsNow.com app, I don't know where you are. Get for it on the Apple iTunes Store, or the Apple App Store, and the Android Store. There's Dakota's. It just looks incredible. So please.
Thank you, Jared.
If you haven't, good work to Jared Brown for doing that. Here's a final look at the HD News Now cam. Hopefully you find some sunshine amidst those clouds today. News continues 24/7 on our streaming network. See you tomorrow.